Hey, aren't you going to wait and greet the great pumpkin? Huh? It won't be long now. If the great pumpkin comes, I'll still put in a good word for you. Good grief, I said if.
Hello, Pumpkinists. I'm sorry no video came to you during our collective favorite month of the year. Alas, too much spooking needed to be done and there was not near enough time for all of it. As things are quickly speeding up in my classes and finals approach, as well as our 5-year anniversary, this video is something simple that would have been a great idea like 4 years ago. I'm going to start reading the holy text to you because kids these days book no, scroll, how, read. It's also because I can do this without thinking critically and having to write a script. Bada boom, liberals. The lighting sucks because the sun went down and I hate my dorm lights, so you don't have to look at me anymore. You can just switch tabs and just listen. Also, not reading the introduction because I don't want to. The website is there and no fun narrative stuff, wee-hoo. Also, if you don't know, I started writing this in like 8th grade. I'm constantly editing it, so the story will stay the same, the language and the words likely will not. This may not be the exact wording in the holy texts a couple of years from now, but the story should be consistent.
Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night.
Wow, me at a different angle with my computer. Please don't watch me do this. Just listen. Alright, Pumpkinists, get cozied down to read about the beginning of it all and the birth of Festiva. The beginning of it all. Everything in the universe had to begin somewhere, yet there is one thing with no true beginning, our great and holy pumpkin. It is said many times that the world began with a large explosion, for it truly did. The awakening was a strange concept indeed. The thing did not know who it was, what it was, or why it was, or how it was, or when it was. The thing itself was an idea created by itself, with the very concept of common sense folded up long enough for one idea that was created by itself to come to be. The idea was a constant circle, for the idea had to get the idea from itself, and only from itself to find such existence, for it is utterly alone. The constant circle kept spinning and spinning until it had a new idea, just a small thought. This new idea broke the circle in such a way that all things from this first idea conceived of the same way by the same idea exploded in a flurry of all of it. Now the idea had become what we call a star, a sentient one, a bright one, a powerful one, indeed. The universe was full of spinning planets and stars, beautiful and different in their own ways. The star watched them go by until he saw one, made from gas, which was so beautiful that the star had to keep it. He pulled it close and stayed by him willingly. The star collected more and more planets, warming each one with his light. He kept one empty space for a special planet, which he could not find but seemed to want and seemed to need. 1,000,000 dreary years of searching led him to be tired and careless. The star was no longer kind to the others who lit up his system. He was bitter and mean until the day a young rock with hidden treasures the great star could sense came by him. He pulled the rock in and told it, "You are a rock of great beauty. But you will waste it away to nothing if you do not stay here. I can warm you, and soon you will be the most beautiful planet of them all." "No way, you crusty old star. I know the way of all us rocks shall go, and I will not abandon my path." The planet had refused him. "You are a silly rock. I can help you become more than a meteoroid floating through space with no purpose. I have a purpose. The treasures I hold are not meant to see the light. I must find a place where they can be protected and held close," the rock told him. "Don't worry, small rock. You have treasures that will be more beautiful in the light, and I will give you places where you can hide the frightening ones in the dark. But they must not coexist," said the star, foolishly. "No, there must be balance in my world, and I get to say so because my world is me," said the earth. "I will be its sole mother, and I will slumber in your holds, but I will still rule it over you." So the earth reluctantly fell into line, and just as she did, sprouted tiny life from all angles. Soon the earth began to seep water and grow plants, molding into the world she wanted to become. But the star did not like this disobedience. He darkened the sky with another old rock. He began to create creatures that were small and lively, living in the ocean, and began a healthy food chain. All the new scary creatures did not bother the Earth Mother. She loved them and shallowed parts of the ocean to make a great land for all of them. The sun did not understand why the Earth Mother had not yet complained about the creatures, but he left them be. He left them be for so very long, millions of years passed. Finally, the Earth Mother came to the sun to say thank you, for she loved the small bug-like creatures. But the creatures had been meant to bother her. The sun grew angry with his failure and heated the sea, so all of the Earth Mother's creatures perished. Angry, the Earth scolded him. My innocent people are gone, but I will preserve them. They will live on in the rock, where their souls and spirits can stay. So the Earth Mother wept for her lost creatures. She let her plants perish and preserved her friends' bodies in the place where water and the shore met, and in limestone rock, and for many eons it continued so, with Earth killing all of the sun's creatures, and the sun killing all of hers. Then, the bright star came to her with a proposal. Now your people are gone, but I will bring new ones to rise above them. They will be bigger and better, and they will respect both of us and not only you. The Earth, still sad about the fate of her critters, responded, You can try to pretend this new creature will prevail, but they won't. Unlike the last ones, they will not have my blessing. So the Earth went back to sleep and let the new species take over. She created mountains and plants for the lumbering giants. She created one big island for all of them to live on. The new creatures ate her plants, but they also ate each other. There was a balance, but it was uneasy, unlike the last being's way. The sun loved these new creatures, so he was careful to make the conditions perfect. But the Earth did not love them in the same way. She despised the large, fleshy creatures because they were not courteous to her. They ate each other, and they ate their own children. But she respected them, for some respected her plants, and some worked together as she advised. Soon, even these few grew bold and disrespectful to her. She sent great cold storms. She whispered orders to the huge mountains that erupted in fire. She even ordered a meteorite online. After all this great struggle, the beasts fell into such a sickness that they passed within a decade. The sun got very upset, and as the sky had been choked with ash and he could no longer see his creations, when he found what she had done and watched in horror as new furry species sprouted in the place of his very cool different ones, he was almost more sad than he was angry. Earth, seeing this and believing she owed him some kindness after massacring his epic monster birds, preserved them as well as she could in sediment and stone. The sun was of course very angry with the Earth. He let more beings rise to the planet, but he did not like them. He tried to guide him with his rays, but they only grew stranger the more he tried. Finally, he had an idea. He would go down to Earth and lead the animals himself. He slowly created a form for himself, a round, bulbous, orange thing. A pumpkin. The birth of Festiva. After months of traveling through space, the pumpkin reached the Earth. It was soft and lovely underneath his vines. He breathed his first breath of air. He traveled on 3 vines over a land that seemed to be only soil. There were no rocks, and grass only barely peeked up in the wet morning dirt. He hadn't expected the earth to be soft. He hadn't expected to see the ground twist into the shape of what would someday be called a human, something he had never seen before him. "Why have you come?" said the creature in the voice of the earth. "I have let these new creatures stay. I have forgiven you for destroying my children. Now you must forgive me for destroying yours. Is that why you have come?" "No, you useless lump of mud. I have come to create a new species, a high and holy species that will prevail," said the pumpkin. "I should have known that you would be so greedy. You cannot use my resources to create a kind that will think itself superior and try to destroy me and all other creatures," cried the earth. "Watch me, mud," said the pumpkin, and he went off to create a creature. The earth followed him in uneasy silence. The two walked into a deep forest. He first let his light shine down upon a small mouse. Then it twisted and morphed into a growing expanse of light. "I'm going to steal your design, Mudface," he said as he created a creature that looked like the earth's strange form with a few modifications. It was a man, but a strange one. His head was a bit smaller than it should be, and he was taller than he should be. He had legs and a short tail that balanced him, and as he walked on 2 small feet. But nonetheless, he was human, nearly so, and mortal. "It will not last. He will betray your ways," said the earth. now sprouting moss and flowers. I will not preserve him when he is gone, not like I have with my creatures and not like I have with yours. Shut up, Mud, I can't even with you anymore, so please go back to your sulking, the pumpkin snapped. The earth angrily unspun her odd form, and the mud and flowers fell and spread over the ground. The pumpkin greeted his new being. He created small gourds from the earth, special yellow and green gourds. He said to the man, "Now, I have given you these gourds. You must eat no other plants." He called fire down from the sun and put it on a small stick. Now he said to the man, "I give you fire on this stick. It will not go out, and it will never waver and dance. Be wary, for it shall burn those who scorn it. It shall burn all who it touches." And last he took metal from the earth and molded it into a knife for the man. Now he said to the man, "Now you have a blade to hunt and carve with, but be wary, for its blade is mindless and does not befriend." Now the man had all it needed to survive. He collected sticks for his fire, he hollowed the gourds and ate the inside, careful to plant more with the seeds. He cooked his meals over the fire and created a lantern out of the gourd. He had all he needed, so the pumpkin left him and went to find Earth. But Earth is tricky and clever, and now full of spite. She would not be fooled out of her reign, so she created a great purple gourd, molding it carefully as to steal the pumpkin's design stolen from her. She had it hidden well along a river bank, as she created other secrets to do her bidding too. The earth made sprites of water and trees, and they laughed happily as they created spirits even they could not control, great canine demons to haunt the human. They were all Earth's children in this world except the pumpkin and the man, who the earth had decided simply must go. The earth waited until one moonless night to enact her plan. She sent her sprites to follow the man and watch his lantern gourd. The man had become greedy. He had planted his fire in the forest, using it in terrible abundance for personal enjoyment and not for warmth and light. When he was hungry, he killed the animals the fire attracted. He skinned them without respect or skill and burned all those he didn't need. He had become more heavily armored in fur, and he still had the gall to be sad. The more he had, the more he was alone. It was a mercy killing, really. The earth smiled as she placed her plan into action. She rode on the winds as she descended on the man Jack from above. The dirt around her shifted and twisted into her human shape as she landed. "Hello, man," said the earth. "I have come to help you. I am a friend of the pumpkin." "I need no further help. I have all I need," responded the man. "But you must be so tired of moving your fire back and forth. It is such a hassle." "You're right. I don't really like that. It burns my hand each time," the man complained. "So you do as I say. First you must find a nice sturdy stick. Now you dip the stick in your great fires. It will alight as well, and you may travel with its light," the earth explained. The man did as she told him to, and walked about with a great fire stick. He explored the night, which brought him thrills and wonders galore. The pumpkin now was far, far away exploring the world he helped to create. The man was exploring it also, the dry places, the wet places, the great fields of gourds. One night, as he sat in a gourd field, he got an idea. He took his fine, dried gourd and placed a chunk of the burning stick inside, and he walked off into a new field, a new version of his lantern in hand. He stuck his fine torch of eternal flame into the ground, left behind. This is all as the earth planned. The Edaman had made the decision to make his lantern with fire that was not eternal or sacred. She could not be blamed. She planted her gourd in the field by the stream. As he neared, she let go of her control over the spirits. She would never hold power over them again. Only the new gourd would, so the earth had to count on certain happenings. The man traveled deeper and nearer to the stream, and he heard a bark, and upon him came Earth's demons, who leapt and bounded after him, their jagged teeth snapping at his furs. The demon dogs, each made out of smoky quartz, herded him into the stream. Jack's light disappeared, falling into the dark, swirling waters. The dogs began to circle him. He felt so surely that he had been set up. At his moment of greatest weakness, when he was sure his end was upon him, the light of the torch of everlasting fire peeked over the meadow, and the dogs whimpered and ran. Earth planned it so. The light is now hers, and the gourd lantern is crushed and bobbing down the river's current. Seeing her chance, she called to the man. "Foolish creature, you have let the demons get you. Now your fire is out, your gourd is broken. But here, I shall help you nonetheless. I have found a new gourd lantern for you, and all you must do is light it with the eternal flame. Look, I have brought it for you," the earth said. She handed him the purple gourd and the eternal flame. The man was foolish and believed the earth again, forgetting his suspicions. So he took the flame and he lit the purple gourd. Instead of becoming a blazing lantern for him, it burst into flames and swirled in the wind out of his hands. In joy, the earth cried out for what would become her daughter. Her chants began to churn around the gourd as it grew, suspended in a windstorm, and grew a blaze of hot and cold, light and dark, and changed shape. Wind overtook flame, the gourd stretched and twisted. Frost kissed the tips of the grass, the river froze over. Soon the body of a human woman, perfectly purple, hovered just above the ground. The frosted gray grass reached upwards and weaved about her in a long coat until she was perfectly clothed. Then the woman collected the remaining grass and fashioned it into a bundle of hay, which she held at the middle, with each side flaring out. "Now I am Festiva, daughter of the earth. I am here to save it. You have disrespected me and my mom, and now I'm going to beat your ass. Step down, and I will not harm you," she commanded. The Great Pumpkin waltzed onto the scene. "I don't think so, Purple Lady," he yelled. "Try me, bitch," cried Festiva, pulling out a knife before the pumpkin could think. She plunged it into Jack's chest. He collapsed, and she called the ants from the ground to eat away his body, leaving only bones and a sorry, angry, twisted spirit. Before the pumpkin could think, she chucked the bones into the morning sun, into the face of the pumpkin's former vessel. Lastly, she called the apes of the forest. "This is the beginning of your reign. The beasts here are your brothers, but you will be different from them. Now run south with my blessing," she called. Then she turned to the Holy Orange One. "Your man was corrupt. I had to kill him. But these new beasts, humans, will strive in the plains of the animals' world. Someday they will rule the whole thing." She walked to the mound that had been built of the eternal flame. She dipped her staff of hay into the fire, lighting both ends. The fire went out, leaving the eternal flame ever in her protection. She came to the grieving pumpkin and said to him, "I have seen what you shall do. You will freeze the earth and keep me contained. You will turn my mother against me, and you shall freeze me into the highest mountain, but I shall wake again at your time of need." The Great Pumpkin nodded angrily, and the earth began to weep. It was cold now, so very cold without the eternal flame. She wept and rose, flooding the land. The tears fell into Festiva's mind, and she accepted her death. Her arms crossed over her chest. She froze. A mountain grew below her, a mountain so huge and awful that many men would try to climb it and lose their lives. The earth fell into a frozen state, and in the cold, the humans began to prosper. Thank you for listening, Pumpkinists. Thanks to all of you who have helped with the holy texts over the years, and there will be more of these.